What a joy it was to watch some competitive football. Now, look, I appreciate that it's a friendly. I appreciate that you cannot read that much into a game like this. But when Manchester United face Liverpool, there is always jeopardy. There is always the desire to win. And I've already spoken to Adam McCullough, who is out there at the game. I'm so envious. Imagine being in Bangkok to watch your team play against one of your nearest and dearest rivals. Full of envy I am. And Adam said that the atmosphere in there was intense. He said it was wonderful, it was passionate, it was loud, it was so noisy he could barely hear himself think. So yes, of course, this game means nothing, but this game never means nothing. And I stand by everything I've said there. The game means nothing, but in some weird, perverse way, it sort of means everything because at the very least, it's Manchester United playing against Liverpool. There is never a friendly. It's impossible for that game to be played in a friendly atmosphere. It's impossible for that game not to be played with an element of needle. You always want to win it, even if you go out there and your intention is to take the game as lightly as possible. It's not possible because the atmosphere, the fans, everything that goes before it, the history of the fixture, it does mean something. So yes, while there isn't anything truly at stake, it's a game that you would much rather win than lose. And it's Manchester United, can you believe, who have run out worthy, decisive winners, which surprises me massively. Look, this isn't going to have any bearing on the season, but it could do Manchester United a little bit of a favour as they gear up to the season, in terms of how they feel like things are going, in terms of the happiness around the camp, in terms of the way that certain individuals are feeling, in terms of budgets. I think that if you were controlling the purse strings of Manchester United, you would look at this result, you would look at what Ten Hag has done, you would now think, right, let's spend some money. So he wants Anthony, for example, right, let's go and get him. Because they do look slightly threadbare. There doesn't seem to be enough cover, particularly in midfield. But what they do have is a semblance, at least, of quality. And some of the goals scored today were top draw. Like the Jadon Sancho goal today was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I implore you to have a look. There was also a delectable, gorgeous chip from Fred. Liverpool looks slightly shaky, but I think that's because Manchester United, maybe weirdly, or maybe think this is a good principle from Ten Hag, pretty much went full strength. Manchester United went as strong as they possibly could, whereas Liverpool were slightly mixed, slightly balanced. But I do honestly think that for that first half, Ten Hag pretty much went as strong as he could go. And I think he wanted to get a win. The team ethic seemed to be to go for the jugular. And I think it caught Liverpool a little bit off guard. Look, Klopp kept all the heavy hitters on the bench. I mean, they all got to run out, but 30 minutes, max. And by that point, the game was dead and buried. So by that point, the result didn't matter. Klopp was obviously expecting his players to find a bit of sharpness, a bit of match fitness, make sure that they're acclimatised to the very difficult heat wave going across Thailand at the moment, and make sure that the game gets no worse. So it would be about minutes and fitness for Liverpool, particularly from half-time onwards. Whereas for Manchester United, I think that they will try and use this as a spring in their step. I think that they will try and use this sort of a result to move forward from here. Use this as the foundation to build, not only for the rest of the pre-season, but any minute now I'm going to get a text from Adam McCullough telling me that 21 is coming, aren't I? That is guaranteed. From a Liverpool perspective, obviously not a good day at the office, but like I say, they won't read too much into it. It's one of those, I think. If you've won, you're over the moon and you find the truth and you find the gravity in the result. And if you lose it, it doesn't mean anything. It's only a friendly. And I think that the truth lies somewhere between both polar opposite views. If you win a game like this, it is significant. And if you don't, it isn't. So yeah, from a Liverpool perspective, I suppose the only slightly, I was going to say slightly concerning, but I don't actually think it is concerning at all. But social media will tell you it's concerning. I haven't been on yet, but I imagine that social media is rife with a Darwin Núñez miss. I mean, there was an opportunity where He pretty much missed an open goal. So I imagine that social media will be enjoying that. I imagine that the comparisons between Timo Werner, Romelu Lukaku, and Darwin Núñez are going 100 miles an hour over on Twitter. But I will be staying a long way away from that. I'm still convinced that Núñez will have a big season and will prove a vital cog in the Jurgen Klopp machine. From a Ten Hag perspective, I'm just seeing a quote that's coming from him. He says that they created a lot. Our team played brave, which is a huge word to use when discussing Manchester United, because if there is one word that you wouldn't associate with Manchester United post-Ferguson, certainly since Mourinho, it's bravery. Not enough players are prepared to adopt the role of captain, to be the Brian Robson, to be the Steve Bruce, to be the Roy Keane, to be the Erik Cantona. There isn't a huge amount of bravery in that squad, and I would actually say that on last year's display, the word I would use to describe it on the whole was cowardice. So that's already an improvement. That's already a levelling up from Ten Hag on the Ralph Rangnick era. So it's a huge word for him to use there, and I think he's probably doing that on purpose. I think he's looking to invigorate his team. So using words like brave and creative is a clever ploy to do that. He says that he's happy with his first game, and he put a good, strong team out, so he was happy with it. Liverpool, I imagine, will just look to the next game. Their point was to find fitness, and certainly the second half, they never really tried to claw it back. But for me, I was just really happy to sit down and watch a good hour of competitive football. And like I said, there is no love lost between these two clubs. Even when it's played in the most sanitised of situations. No points at stake, no cup final at stake, no real jeopardy. It still feels like a massive fixture. Two of the biggest clubs in the world going head to head. And therefore, it always means something. Do you agree with me on that front? Do you see why? Look, if Manchester United beat Fiorentina 4-0, I think I would honestly be saying it doesn't mean anything. Literally nothing. Whereas this doesn't mean anything. But it sort of means something. Do you see where I'm coming from? Am I right? Or have I got it totally wrong? You think it means nothing? I've enjoyed this review. I've enjoyed football being back. I have not enjoyed these sweltering temperatures. I am honestly dying. But thank you for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to do a lot more reviews of the friendlies if you're up for it. So if you have enjoyed this, please give me the honour of dropping a like on it just so I can monitor it, and I will be across these friendlies if you want that. Otherwise, you'll never see another one again for the rest of your days. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Click subscribe, by the way. Don't forget to do that. Click subscribe right now. Enjoy. Ta-da.